Hi, Virgo. Welcome to your January through June 2024 tarot reading. Um, so this next year, let's talk about the astrology really quick because 2023 was really a weird year. And I feel like I'm going to look back on 2023 and just kind of wonder why. Like, it was just a really weird year and lots of ups and downs and stuff. So Pluto will ingress Aquarius in January for the second time. This is a whole new energy, a whole new era that's coming in with Pluto. This is a whole new generation of energy coming in. And it's really, everybody's like, oh, yay, Aquarius is going to save the day because it's very humanitarian. But Pluto tears everything down first because we got to start from scratch. So that's going to be really interesting. That's in your sixth house. So a lot with career and with your routine and with your health. Okay. So a lot of that is going to be, you're going to be a lot of transforming yourself in a lot of ways. February will have Chiron conjunct the North Node for the entire month. And so really a lot of healing. Like, I think the entire month of February is going to be a big opportunity to, like, even heal the world. Like, I would not be surprised if some kind of like slogan came out from celebrities or something about healing the world in February. I would not be surprised. April is eclipse season. I'm skipping over some things, but I am going to be doing an astrology talk just for 2024 in December sometime. I'll be putting that up on Patreon. So we would love for you to be a part of the Patreon family. You get a lot. You get a lot. You get monthly astrology and tarot readings over there. So there's a lot of content and daily. We're doing the daily energies on YouTube now as well. They started over there. Let's see, anything else? May is going to be, there's a lot of Jupiter and Neptune energy in May. I really feel like there's going to be a change, a revolutionary change, shift with energy that happens. And I think this year is really going to start it. 2024 is really going to start this revolutionary kind of like shift with energy. So the way we do your tarot reading is I have all of the major arcana and the 4 aces in this deck, and we'll get an overlaying theme from January to June, and then we'll go back to each month with the second deck and clarify for you and get a little deeper into what's going on. All right. This is that last shuffle. Oh, they want one more. Okay. Spoke too soon. All right. For January, we have the Emperor. Okay. February is the Tower. March is the High Priestess. April, I'm like so nervous about this, is the Ace of Cups. I wouldn't worry about the Tower too much, but so the Ace of Cups for April. May is the Wheel of Fortune. Love that energy. Give me more of that. And then June is the World. Love that. Okay. So you are coming to the end of a cycle in the first 6 months of the year. And I think that you've already started the ending of that cycle, and it's just, you're just kind of in the middle of it and just trying to figure that out. Could be with your job, could be with a relationship, could be with friendships, could be with where you live, could be with anything that's going on in your life for you right now, but we are going to clarify and see. I sort of feel like, I feel like you really want to try and control the ending of something, or I really feel like there's something that you really feel like you have to be in control of with this Emperor energy. And the Tower is going to come along in February and be like, you didn't need to control that at all. And so I don't want you to waste your energy in January trying to control things. I think that you really want to. But I feel like you're really just going to be more disappointed in yourself in the end, Virgo, if you try to control the things. Okay. And that means overthinking. Don't overthink the stuff. The Tower energy is literally a foundation shift. There's a foundation, there's something in your life that's not really supporting you in the way that it needs to be. And that could be a job, it could be a relationship, it could be a situation, it could be, like for me, I feel like this is my change in like my health team, right? My doctors and my health team. So that's where I'm going, because I feel like that's what this is, because I already feel that happening, and I know it's going to be a really obnoxious time for me and super uncomfortable. So the High Priestess, it's like in March, it's like you sort of knew that all of this was going to be coming down anyways. And so now it's time for you to just show back up for yourself and make that shift happen, and make that, like get those things in gear and get things moving. And like, you can't control how it's all going to look, but you can absolutely control first how you respond to all of it, and two, the initiations. Like, you got to initiate stuff, Virgo. Like, yes, the universe is working for us, but you can't procrastinate on everything and expect for it to just all just fall into place. I try that sometimes too. Like, I'm like, oh, maybe. Hold on a second. My Netflix just went off pause. So now it's talking. Hold on. Let me. Wow. Come on. There we go. All right. Okay, so we have the Emperor here for January. Let's get this clarified. The Emperor could also be like just you recognizing that it's sort of time to take charge on something. You don't want to be a dictator in your life. I mean, I think that sometimes we do want to be a dictator in our life, but I think that you really just want the things start to move forward and the energy to start to move forward. And I think that, there's just this desire to try and control the way that it's going to look. And I just want you to do everything in your power to resist trying to control how things are going to go. And that means if stuff gets uncomfortable and you have to be moved, or you have to be shifted in some way that's really uncomfortable, Virgo, you are a mutable energy. In fact, this is kind of us sometimes, that, mutable earth is earthquake. Just saying. 8 of Wands for January, Judgment, and the Moon. So the energy is going to start picking up in January. If you have been kind of feeling a lull, the energy will start picking up in January. And the Emperor is really strong, but the universe is supporting you in this, and I don't think that you even know where you're headed, right? With that Moon there, like, this is kind of a journey of faith and trust that you're going to need. And this Judgment, I love the Judgment card in this deck if you look, because the universe is just helping out there, right? With that baby dropper of medicine. So as the energy picks up in January, there's a level of surrender that I feel like is needed, even though we don't have that card out here right now. And I almost even want to say that you sort of knew what energy was coming, or you sort of knew that there, like, what it was that you were looking at, or, like maybe you had a vision, or maybe you had a knowing or something like that. But High Priestess, you could hear something from a Pisces energy. But that High Priestess on the Eight of Wands feels like you also, like, there's just this knowing. Like, I feel like you're getting some information from source too. So really listen to your intuition. We have the Strength card on Judgment. Part of this is testing your resilience, Virgo. Like, part of this, a lot of you are getting your resilience tested and being able to tame those demons and, the tantrums and not losing your shit, right? There's also a Leo energy that's willing to help you as well if you are open to that. But I feel like with Judgment and the Strength card, it's like now is the time. Now is the time to show up for yourself. This is not the time for you to be lax about anything. And then we have the Hierophant on the Moon. And I feel like with that Hierophant, so the Hierophant often represents societal standards. It can represent marriage. It can represent higher education, even like a spiritual leveling up, in a big way. But with the moon, it's like, for some of you, you don't know. It's just like, I think that you're in this place of, really wanting some kind of stability, because the Hierophant can represent that too. And I think that you're just sort of unclear about what that looks like, what the spiritual journey looks like, what the marriage looks like, what the the relationships look like all of those things. I feel like you're sort of unsure about that. And I think you're getting some clues. And so now's the time for you to sort of pluck up those signs and those clues and really listen to them. We have the Tower in February. I don't want you to be afraid. I don't want you to watch this video and then be afraid that the Tower's coming in February. And I don't want you to overthink that the Tower's coming in February. Okay. I don't want you to do that. I'm probably going to do it anyways. So don't do it, even though I'll do it anyways. Okay. Some kind of information or discussion is had in February. And I'm not sure with a fire sign. I'm not sure if you feel betrayed or they do. So we have the Seven of Swords, Ace of Swords, and the King of Wands. So the Ace of Swords can be double-edged, right? The sword is just double-edged. And so, Virgos, oftentimes we can be really, really nasty with the things that we say. So if you're dealing with a fire sign, Leo was in the last one. This even could be you, to be quite honest. But I feel like there's some kind of betrayal that's happening, and that's the Tower. I don't know that it's an actual betrayal or just a feeling or an overthinking that I'm betraying. So let's clarify. I almost want to say that, hold on, let's see. Okay. Oh, wow, there's two fire signs here. So you're showing up as a fire sign yourself. So there's a lot of heat that's happening in February. I feel like there's a lot of this is about healing, but I gotta say, Virgo, the healing is not pretty sometimes, okay? I feel like there's this surrender to trying to like, I feel like you don't want to argue about it anymore. I feel like you don't want to fight about it anymore. I feel like you're just really done with having the same, Like it feels, that Seven of Swords just feels like I just don't want to have the same conversation. The Knight of Cups and the Nine of Wands feels like there's a peace, there's like almost like this, like I surrender, like I want to work it out. I don't want, I want to do this in a way where we're not at each other's throats all the time. That's what this feels like. Okay. And we have the Queen of Wands on the Ace of Swords. So I feel like both of you are a little feisty with what you're saying. And and this is the thing, is the Tower's going to move the energy around, right? The other person, fire sign, whoever it is, in this mix, the Three of Wands is really like searching elsewhere, looking for more. That might be you. You might be the one that needs more. And then the other person is the one that's like, this is my truth. And you're like, I need more or something, right? It feels very much like, you both are sort of searching for yourselves and needing to surrender to that, is what it feels like. Like I said, the Aries Chiron is going to be conjunct the Aries North Node all of February, and all of this just screams that right here. Just all of it screams that. And so it feels very much like you don't want to harm a situation any more than it's already been harmed, right? You want to find, it feels like there's some kind of truce that wants to be had. And I think the Tower coming down was sort of that aha revelation, of it. So then we have the High Priestess in March. Okay, so we have the Ace of Pentacles, we have the Devil, and we have the Two of Swords. So I feel like what it is that you have to do to start over after February, after this Tower moment. And I feel like with the Two of Swords, one of the lessons is, Virgo, is in paying attention to what you have to pay attention to, and not shuffling it to the back of your mind because it's not interesting enough to have your focus right now. Or it's just like, ew, like I'm just going to take care of it when I feel like taking care of it. And now is not that time that I want to take care of it. It'll be another time, whatever. Right. I think Virgos procrastinate with the best of them. Like, I know I'm not the only one. But this Ace of Pentacles, the universe is giving you an opportunity, and it could be like for some of you, it's a new job. And I want to say that you're not necessarily seeing, you don't want to make that decision, I mean, and I understand, with Virgos, if it's a job with Virgos, jobs, we put our hearts into what we do. Like, we put all of ourselves into what we do. It's very serious for us. Our job, right? Our career is very serious for us. And we want to be good at it, right? So for some of you, you're looking at the facts that, like, that you need to have another job. For some of you, there's a lesson here you need to pay attention to, because the universe is trying to support you in the new foundation that you're creating. And if you're unsure of the decision that you need to make, or you're unsure of the details of the decision that you need to make, you got to get centered with yourself. It's two of the cards are telling you this here. Four of Swords on the Ace of Pentacles. So the Ace of Pentacles is a gift from the universe that brings in some kind of like solid functioning thing. A house, a job, some money, a resource in some way, shape, or form. Sometimes for Virgos, it's even a relationship or, like, aha, aha, a moment. Four of Swords on the Ace of Pentacles. Sometimes money is just a really big focus when the Ace of Pentacles comes out, whether it's going out or coming in, it's just a really big focus. And so there's this perspective shift that I want you to take. I want you to shift when it comes to this new thing that's happening. I want this perspective shift. I don't want you to attach it to anything, right? The Four of Swords for me is cutting ties with the idea of what you think it's supposed to look like and getting a different perspective. It's kind of the minor arcana of the Hanged Man, and you're healing at the same time. And like even in this card, you have guardians here, right? You have support and guardians while it's happening. So allow yourself to really be able to look at this new thing differently, because it might be really uncomfortable. And it might be something that just sort of sucks really bad, but it's taking you to a new opportunity and it's taking you to a new place. And sometimes life is sucky to get to new places. And this one is balancing you out. For some of you, you're going to have to be dealing with some legal stuff. Justice on the Devil. Justice in this deck again has the Wheel of Fortune up there. So whatever it is that you have to pay attention to in April, I'm sorry, in March. Wow. Whatever it is that you have to pay attention to in March, there's this balance and shift in perspective that is helping to ground you and get you centered. Four of Cups on the Two of Swords. Usually the Four of Cups is like ignoring what the universe wants to offer you, what the universe wants to give you. And in this deck, it looks an awful lot like getting centered with your own emotions. And that's going to help you be able to make any decisions that you need to make. I think sometimes we're afraid to make choices in our lives because we're afraid we're going to make the wrong one. And that's like one of the biggest human things that we can do to sabotage ourselves, is to just not make the decision at all. Sometimes we have to wait for the universe to show us what decision that we should be making, but we already know what decision we need to be making, and we're just waiting for it to get easier on us, or we're waiting to be ready for it. I don't know about you, but I don't think that I've been ready for anything that's happened to me in my life that is worth mentioning, that brought change and transformation to me. I don't think that I was ready for any of it. And I don't think if none of it would have happened, I wouldn't be who I am. Ace of Cups in April. April is the month of the solar eclipses. So April with the Ace of Cups is about focusing on what you need, focusing on taking care of yourself, focusing on filling up your own cup first. We have the World. So we're getting really, really close to the end of that cycle that is up in June, right? Is the overall theme is the World. So we have the World, we have the Seven of Wands, and we have the Chariot. So I feel like you're moving forward, whether that means it's a physical movement, you could be traveling somewhere in April. But with the World, there's the ending of one cycle and it feels like there's the beginning of a new one. And usually when you're starting a new cycle, there are some boundaries that you're going to have to put up for yourself. And that means discipline, and that means willpower, and that means, really paying attention to the things that you need to do in order to keep going, and that's what that Ace of Cups is asking of you as well. So let's clarify the Worlds. This is a pretty big deal, Virgo. This is going to change a lot of things. I feel like you think that you're betraying someone. Or, I feel like you think that this is a betrayal, this ending, the Seven of Swords. I really feel like you feel guilty. The Seven of Swords feels like a lot of guilt. And we have the Nine of Swords too. Feels like a lot of guilt. Um, and I don't know what it is. I don't know what it is that you are having to do to it's going to be different. It's going to look different for everyone. But if you are living your life the way that you need to live your life for your best and highest good, and you ask me, Betsy, what is that? What do you mean by that? Like, how do I know it's for my best and highest good? How do I know I'm not just screwing my life up? If you are going with your heart, if you're doing something that's really uncomfortable, but you know that with your heart that it's what you have to do, you're not screwing up. You're not a screw up. That's not screwing up. That's not being a failure. That's leading with your heart, which more people should do. Okay? So there's something that's happening here where it really feels like there's been this ending, and the moving forward is bringing a lot of clarity. But it's not after some painful revelations for you, Virgo. We have the Nine of Swords on the Seven of Wands. I feel like with some of the boundaries that you're putting up, they're actual full walls, and you're kind of keeping people out. And I think that that's actually giving you some anxiety too. Like the boundaries that you're putting up are creating. My crown is just itching like crazy right now. It's probably the crown chakra wand that I'm wearing too. But yeah, that Nine of Swords on the Seven of Wands, like, don't drive yourself crazy, and overthink, what you need to do. And then we have the Sun with the Chariot. And so I feel like there's this kind of revelation and this aha moment and clarity and movement forward in April, where there's also closure. And then we have the Wheel of Fortune for May. And the Wheel of Fortune is positive movement forward. It's that shift forward, and it's on divine timing. There's really nothing that we can do about the timing. We just have to trust and have faith that it's going to happen. So we have the High Priestess, we have the Hierophant. So we have the High Priestess, we have the Hierophant, and we have the Ace of Cups. For some of you, this is actually resurrecting a relationship, and you like knew it would happen. There's this shift that's going on. You knew the relationship would resurrect, and you knew that it would happen. And this isn't just any old regular relationship. This could be a relationship with a Taurus or a Pisces, but it feels like the relationship that you have with yourself, and there's like this resurrection or this renewal. It's like a renewal of yourself also brought a renewal of the relationship, of a certain relationship that you have. And so there's like, that could be the ending of the old relationship and the beginning of a whole new one. Could very well be the same, the thing there as well. But the Four of Pentacles on the High Priestess, the Ten of Pentacles on the Hierophant. This is where the shift is taking you, this Wheel of Fortune shift. And the Emperor on the Ace of Cups. And so I feel like I want you to hold on to what you believe. Don't let go of what you believe. I feel like whatever it is that you believe, it's true. And this shift is taking you to a stable future. It's taking you to a future foundation. Could be a future relationship, could be, something, but the Emperor on the Ace of Cups is making me feel like the way that, because, every Virgo has to have some kind of sense of control of their life. And the way that you're going to have a sense of control in your life is by loving yourself. Okay. Um, that's what this feels like for me. And that's what it feels like the shift is as well. Um, but there's a whole new future that this shift is bringing to you. And I think that you are, you're really seeing sort of a different kind of vision because of that. And again, it's not necessarily a comfortable shift, but it is going to be a positive one. And then we have the world in June. So there's definitely the ending of a cycle that you've been in. Could be a cycle with a Leo energy as well. Um, But the cycle that you're in right now is really bringing a lot of resilience to you. With the Strength card, we have the Knight of Pentacles and we have the Ten of Cups. And so the ending of this cycle is bringing this resilience, but it's also giving you an opportunity to start building in that Ten of Pentacles abundant future life that you want from here on out, right? Like there's something that's changing you in the first 6 months of the year. And in that change, you start to recognize, oh my God, this is where my roots are. This is what my roots are. This is what it looks like, right? Like you really start to have these revelations of like, oh wow, this is where I'm meant to be. And this is what I'm meant to be doing. And it could be really uncomfortable because you could see shifts in your relationships with people. And you could see some people go and you could see some people come up. But now you get this opportunity, Knight of Pentacles, step by step by step, just like a Virgo would, without skipping them, to that Ten of Cups happiness, happily ever after. Oh, all the angels come out, right? And it's so great to be able to fantasize that. Get out of the realistic part of your life and be a little idealistic sometimes. You don't have to be such a realist. You don't have to be so cynical. So, June really feels like you are manifesting something pretty big. Oh, wow. Ten of Pentacles is at the bottom of the deck. You're manifesting something pretty big coming up in your life, maybe even for the rest of the year. We do have the Magician on the Strength card. You have all the strength and power to achieve this Ten of Pentacles that you want so badly, right? And that Ten of Pentacles can look like anything. It doesn't have to look like what society wants it to look like. It can look like anything. Then we have the Page of Wands on the Knight of Pentacles. So on your journey, as you're taking one step at a time, listen very, very carefully to what the energies are telling you and what source is telling you. That Page of Wands is a messenger. Okay. So there's, taking each step is getting you closer to that destination, but the journey is the biggest part. And the messages you get on the journey, that's how you learn. And this is part of that. And then we have the Two of Swords on the Ten of Cups. It's okay to not completely know what that future Ten of Cups looks like. But I think because you know that it's changing, that's kind of the biggest part, right? To recognize that there's a shift here and there's a change and it's time for it's just time for something new. And that Two of Swords, don't procrastinate too long. All right. I love you guys. I love this reading. I think it's great. I was a little worried that the 2024 was going to be really rough on us. And I do see some changes. But I feel like if we can conquer that overthinking part, that demon that we all have that's overthinking, we can suffer a little bit less through the changes. I love you guys. Thanks for hanging out with me. See you soon. Bye.